Good morning. It is Monday, November 17th. Here's what we're working on this morning. The Liberal government faces a crucial confidence vote later today over the budget.
One person is in hospital after a stabbing in downtown Hamilton.
Last play. Alexander needs a touchdown. Heaving it down the field. Into the end zone. Deflected, and it falls to the field.
And the Saskatchewan Roughriders have won their first Grey Cup since 2013. Thanks so much for joining us on this dark and Monday morning. I had a little dusting of snow to clear off this morning.
Same. Oh, yeah. And if you happen to be in the Simcoe area, it could be a lot more than a dusting of snow.
Want me to call my dad and find out?
Good idea. Good idea. Okay, yeah, we did have a dusting of snow, and some roads I found slippery coming in this morning, so you got to be really careful. We could get some more flurries on and off throughout the early part of the morning, and then we're just going to see a mainly cloudy sky for the day today. We're looking at 4, and that's about it for the day today. So we'll be below seasonal for the day, and we're looking at -3 right now with a wind chill around -7, so it's a chilly start to our morning here. Now, as I mentioned Simcoe. Simcoe is getting a blast of lake effect snow coming off of Lake Huron, and could get 10 to 15 centimeters of snow in that area today, and then the winds will shift a little bit later on today. So yeah, a little bit of sun, but some flurries as well. All right, looking at traffic here this morning. 403 Waterdown Road, nothing to see right there. That looks good. We had a collision a little earlier at Clapperson's Corners, Highway 5 and Highway 6. Now the lights are on flash in both directions, so be careful there. Let's go to a few MTO traffic cameras, Ministry of Transportation Ontario. We had a vehicle off to the side there a few minutes ago, but no, it is gone now, so that's good. Back to the Red Hill Creek camera, looks good, no problems top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. So things are moving nicely right now. We'll double check weather and traffic as usual as we continue through this Monday morning. But right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much. A shelter in place in Ohsweken that went into effect early this morning has since been lifted. The alert was posted around 4 a.m. OPP and Six Nations Police responded to a disturbance involving an armed individual near 4th Line and Chiefswood Road. The shelter in place was lifted within the hour. OPP say there is no threat to public safety. However, the investigation is ongoing.
Peel police say a 39-year-old Hamilton man is dead following a shooting in Brampton Saturday night. Police say they were called to a parking lot between a rec center and a library just after 7 p.m. where they found a man suffering from gunshot wounds. The man, who has not been identified, was pronounced dead at the scene. A suspect vehicle was later found in North Brampton on the border with Caledon. Peel police are asking anyone with information to contact them.
Hamilton police are investigating a stabbing in the downtown that happened early yesterday. Police say it happened at the intersection of King and Emerald Streets. Video on social media shows police tape surrounding a plaza at that intersection. There were 2 people involved. One suffered non-life-threatening stab injuries.
The Liberal budget faces its final hurdle today after surviving 2 confidence votes before Remembrance Day. Today's vote will determine whether the fiscal policy moves forward and whether the minority Liberals remain in power. Emily Huang joins us in studio with more. Emily.
Rick, the Liberal budget faces its 3rd and final vote of confidence today. The party will need 172 votes in favor for the fiscal policy to pass. The budget was first announced earlier this month. This year's was the first time a federal budget was delivered in the fall, a shift the Carney government says will now be the norm moving forward. The new budget is focused on developing and improving Canada's own industries amid international threats such as the U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs, but its projected deficit of $78 billion was a surprise to many. While the last 2 confidence votes were on the proposed amendments by oppositions, today's vote is on the budget itself, meaning if it doesn't pass, Canadians could be heading to the polls earlier than expected. You may remember the federal Conservatives lost 2 party members as the House headed out on its Remembrance Day recess. D'Entremont to floor crossing and Matt Genereux to resignation. While Genereux remains a Conservative MP for now, he had abstained from casting a vote in the previous 2 confidence votes. And assuming all 170 Liberal MPs vote in favor of the budget, they'll need 2 more to satisfy a majority. The Bloc and the Conservatives have said their MPs would be voting against the fiscal plan already. Now back to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much. A Calgary man and his daughter are dead after being swept out by a wave at a California beach. The Monterey County Sheriff's Office confirms that 39-year-old Hughie Hu was with his wife and 2 children at a state beach on Friday when a large wave caused by a powerful atmospheric river dragged his 7-year-old daughter into the water. Hu and his wife tried to reach her before they were swept in as well. Hu died later in hospital. His wife's been treated for mild hypothermia. The girl's body was recovered yesterday.
Another search for 2 children missing in Nova Scotia for more than 6 months has turned up empty. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack were reported missing by their mother on May 2nd. A weekend search organized by the nonprofit group Bring Them Home found several items, but RCMP say they're not relevant to the case. Since the disappearance, police, ground search teams, and cadaver dogs have swept the area near the Sullivans' home.
Several provinces warn incoming cuts to the number of international student visas are going to put colleges and universities in an even tighter financial bind. Post-secondary institutions across Canada had to cut their budgets this year due to a drop in revenue from international student tuitions. Those fees tend to be about 4 to 5 times higher than those paid by Canadian students. The latest update to the government's immigration levels plan essentially cuts the targeted number of new student visas in half to 155,000 next year. That's down from more than 305,000 in last year's plan.
A Canadian cancer statistics report says the country may not reach its goal of eliminating cervical cancer by 2040. Data published by the Canadian Cancer Statistics Advisory Committee shows a concerning plateau of cervical cancer rates, signaling Canada is moving in the wrong direction. The World Health Organization set a global goal in 2018 of virtually eliminating this type of cancer, which is caused by the human papillomavirus, to fewer than 4 cases diagnosed per 100,000 females. Canada was making progress for decades as cervical cancer rates steadily declined between 1984 and 2005, but since then, the trend has fluctuated.
City of Toronto is expected to raise the Palestinian flag for the first time this morning in honor of the Palestinian Declaration of Independence. This comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vows to oppose any attempts to set up a Palestinian state. He made the comment yesterday as the UN Security Council gets set to vote on a U.S. drafted resolution today. Netanyahu has long ruled out Palestinian independence and asserted that it would reward Hamas. The UN Security Council vote includes a UN mandate to set up an international stabilization force in Gaza. The United States is under international pressure from countries expected to contribute troops and revise the resolution with stronger language about Palestinian self-determination. U.S. President Donald Trump says House Republicans should vote to release the files in the Jeffrey Epstein case. This is a huge reversal after previously fighting the proposal, as a growing number of those in his own Republican Party supported it. On social media last night, Trump said, "We have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party." Democrats and some Republicans have been pushing a measure that would force the U.S. Justice Department to make public more documents from this case. Trump's shift is an implicit acknowledgement that they have enough votes to pass in the House.
Sportsline, the Canadian Football League season ended in style at the 112th Grey Cup in Winnipeg. 39-year-old Rough Riders quarterback Trevor Harris was looking for his first title as a starter. Montreal's Davis Alexander, battling a hamstring injury, was trying to win his first Grey Cup and extend his winning streak to 14-0. After the Rough Riders opened the scoring with a punt single, Montreal took a 7-1 lead late in the first quarter, and backup quarterback Shea Patterson ran for a 1-yard touchdown. After a pass interference penalty against Montreal put the ball at the 1-yard line early in the second quarter, Riders' backup quarterback Tommy Stevens scored to put Sask back on top 8-7. Now late in the first half, the Rough Riders capped an 11-play, 102-yard drive with a 4-yard touchdown scamper by running back A.J. Ouellette, and the Riders took a 15-7 lead into halftime. MGK rocked the stage for the halftime show, flanked by cheerleaders from each CFL team. The singer, formerly known as Machine Gun Kelly, performed a medley of his hits. Back to the game. 3 minutes into the third quarter, Tommy Stevens was at it again, scoring his second TD from the 1 to put the Rough Riders up 22-7. And after a 48-yard field goal from Brett Lothar made it 25-7, Montreal running back Stevie Scott got the Alouettes back on the scoreboard with an 11-yard score on the last play of the third quarter. With the Grey Cup in the house, both defenses clamped down in the fourth quarter, including a pivotal play with 3 minutes to go, and the Owls on the Saskatchewan 3-yard line. Shea Patterson fumbles, and the Riders take over at the goal line. With no time left, the Alouettes had one last chance to get into the end zone.
Last play. Alexander needs a touchdown. Heaving it down the field into the end zone, deflected, and it falls to the field. And gray has just turned green and white. The Saskatchewan Roughriders and Trevor Harris have won the Grey Cup.
For the first time since 2013 and fifth time in franchise history, the Grey Cup is going back to Riderville. Trevor Harris completed a Grey Cup record 85% of his passes for 302 yards and was named the Grey Cup MVP. Alexander threw for 284 yards, but he was intercepted 3 times and lost for the first time in his CFL career. Riders receiver Samuel Emelis, who was born in Montreal, was voted the game's most outstanding Canadian after he made 10 catches for 108 yards. To the NFL we go. Josh Allen tossed 3 touchdowns and ran for 3 more to lead the Bills to a thrilling 44-32 win over Tampa Bay. The victory pushed Buffalo to 7-3, while the Bucs dropped back to 6-4. Canucks were the only Canadian team on the ice yesterday, and they got a much-needed win.
Near side to Hughes. Quinn Hughes moves to the middle, tries a long wrist shot, tipped in. Canucks have another one. Again with traffic to the front and a long shot, and it's 4-2 Vancouver.
Vancouver scored 3 goals in 100 seconds in the third period and beat the Lightning 6-2. The win stopped the Canucks' 3-game losing skid. Elsewhere, the Penguins blanked Nashville 4-0 in Sweden. Minnesota edged Vegas 3-2 in overtime. Detroit clipped the Rangers 2-1, and Colorado beat the Islanders 4-1.
There it is. Bingo. 13 minutes after the hour. Well done, Rick. All right, let's get you into this Monday morning here, 17th of November. It's a chilly start. We'll talk about the forecast in a sec, but first it's traffic. 403 and Waterdown Road. Our exclusive camera once again looks pretty good. Still the problem at Clapperson's Corners. We had an earlier collision and the lights now are on flash, so be careful there. 5 and 6, of course. Go to some MTO traffic cameras and we'll see if we can find any problems. Nothing here at the QEW at Martindale, doing fine there. Red Hill Creek still looks good. 403 Junction, so Toronto bound out of Hamilton, heading away from us on that shot. Towards us now, east of Royal Windsor Drive through Oakville, Etobicoke Creek through Mississauga. Nope, it's pretty light this morning, so there's not a lot happening. To our temperature as we start out this Monday morning. Temperature has actually, good news, just gone up a degree, so we'll take that. It's -2 right now. The winds are fairly light, west-southwest at 12, but it still makes it feel like -6. Skies are partly cloudy at the moment. For school today, 4. That's all we're going to get to today. We got to 6 yesterday, which is seasonal for this time of year. Chance of some flurries, slim chance this morning, and then we're looking at increasing amounts of cloud cover, a bit of a wind as well. Look at what the snow squalls coming off of Lake Huron, off of Georgian Bay. Toronto could be hit by some snow squall activity, a few centimeters of snow there, but it's Simcoe, Delhi, and Norfolk that has a snow squall warning in effect. Could get 15 centimeters of snow, but then that wind is going to shift just a little bit. it. There you can see that northwesterly flow coming across the Great Lakes, picking up the moisture, and you get that snow squall activity, but that should come to an end as the winds begin to shift. So today, the temperatures that we're looking at, anywhere from 4 to 3 degrees for the Horseshoe, a little cooler away from the lake, obviously, but it'll be mainly cloudy to a mix of sun and clouds, and then more cloud cover later this afternoon. Tonight, into the minus column, -2, 3, 4, depending on where you are, but it'll be partly cloudy. Some areas could get some flurries. And then tomorrow, we're looking at some sunshine, a mainly cloudy sky to a partly cloudy sky, but temperatures about the same, 4 to 5, only 3 for Toronto. So temperatures still a little below seasonal. So 17th of November out the door, partly cloudy, light winds, temp right now -2, wind chill about -6. Long range, of course, coming up. Annette, Rick.
Okay, thanks so much. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what she has in Chit Chat. And in business news, we're going to take a look at how home sales in Canada last month fared and how 2026 is shaping up. 6:17, we're going to say good morning to Emily with the first look at Chit Chat.
Hi, good morning. Netflix's Stranger Things has climbed back into Nielsen's streaming top 10 ahead of the final season, and I do have a little backstory on how I spent a lot of hours watching TV this weekend.
Okay.
A Labubu movie is rumored to be in the works.
Of course.
Because why wouldn't there be?
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise finally receives his Oscar.
Yay, you.
Wow.
Are you going to the ceremony?
Yeah, how are you
Maybe.
celebrating?
I'm waiting for my invite. We will discuss.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily.
In business news and overseas trading at this hour, the Canadian dollar is down slightly to 71.3 cents U.S. Gold is down $9 and oil is down 52 cents to $52.43 U.S. a barrel. Midday trading in Europe, London, Frankfurt, and Paris are all down just a bit.
Asian markets all down today, with Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai all posting losses. At Friday's close on Bay and Wall Street, the TSX rose 72 points. The Dow Jones fell by more than 300. The Nasdaq closed up 30 points.
Home sales in Canada edged up a little bit in October. The Canadian Real Estate Association says sales were up 0.9% compared to September. 6 of the past 7 months have seen home sales increases, with September marking a brief pause. But October was down more than 4% compared to October of 2024. The association's senior economist says housing markets are expected to continue to be more active heading into the new year.
Statistics Canada will release its latest inflation reading this morning. The agency will publish its consumer price index for October. Back in September, the annual rate of inflation was 2.4%, up from 1.9% in August. Excluding gasoline, the consumer price index rose 2.6% on a year-over-year basis in September, after posting a gain of 2.4% for August.
Air traffic in the United States is slowly starting to get back to full service. Starting this morning, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has lifted all restrictions on commercial flights. They've been in force at 40 major airports during the recent U.S. government shutdown. The FAA had issued an unprecedented order to limit flights, citing safety concerns because of staffing shortages at air traffic control facilities.
The Swedish royal family is in Canada this week for a rare 3-day state visit. King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia are in Ottawa and Montreal through Thursday, their first visit to Canada since 2006. The trip marks the launch of a new Canada-Sweden strategic partnership focused on expanding trade and defense ties as Sweden settles into its new role as a NATO member. The visit comes as Swedish defense giant Saab explores assembling its Gripen fighter jets in Canada. The company is in talks with Ottawa and Bombardier, a move that could create thousands of jobs in Canada. This also coincides with Prime Minister Mark Carney's review of Canada's F-35 procurement.
6:21, we're going to take a quick break right now. Brian is back with your traffic and your 7-day forecast. Already, we're looking forward to Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
It is 6:24. Good morning, and it's Monday again. Yep. Let's check what's happening on the roads here this morning. We do have a problem on the westbound lanes of the QEW going to the 403, trying to come to Hamilton. Can't pick it up on any of our cameras, but we do have a collision, and you can see things are slowing down, trying to go out of Hamilton toward Burlington, a little bit in the distance, but we do have a collision in that area. Just can't seem to find it on our cameras. Let's go back into St. Catharines, QEW Glendale. Nothing to see there. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, as usual, this time of the morning, really starts to slow down, heading down toward North Shore Boulevard. Nothing at Burl Oak, nothing at Sheridan, through Mississauga, dipping into the 403 at Dundas looks pretty good. If you're going to be traveling on the 401, anywhere between Woodstock and London, heading toward the west, be really careful. Snow squalls coming off of Lake Huron could give the London area 20 to 40 centimeters of snow. Driving will be treacherous there. Let's get the temperatures that we have now. Hamilton is sitting at -2. We've come up from -3 this hour. Wind chill, though, -6, so it's a chilly start. -1 Grimsby, Mississauga, plus side, but just +1 for Toronto. Seasonals are now 6 and -1 for the overnight low. Those are our sun times and records for today. It's going to be fairly cloudy today. A little bit of sunshine this morning with that chance of flurries. We should be 0 for the first bell, and that's the high for the day, 4 degrees, but it will get cloudy later in the afternoon. So today, 4 degrees, tonight down to -2, wind chill about -5 to 6, and then tomorrow will climb to 5. It will be a mostly cloudy day once again tomorrow. Lovely sunshine for Wednesday and 5, then it gets milder but cloudy for Thursday, Friday. The weekend, where are you when we need you? Particularly Monday morning, 5 degrees. At least we'll have some sun for Sunday. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Okay, get ready because Niagara Falls is about to go full Griswold.
Everybody come out quick, look at the lights!
Registration opens today for the City of Niagara Falls Sparkle Awards. It's a free competition celebrating the city's brightest and most festive outdoor holiday displays. And they don't have to shut down the power grid to win. These are some of the winners from last year's Sparkle Awards. That is outstanding. Judges will be out the second weekend in December. Prizes will be awarded for best effects, judges' favorite. There's also a Community Choice Award. Wow.
I think registration is open until the 8th of December, but yeah, now, and it's pretty cool because people get signs and they're, so that neighbors can drive around and see all the lights.
Yeah, put my displays to shame, that's for sure. Stay with us, more to come after the break here on Morning Live.
Let's go let the homes and light the lights.